What's up, everyone? Today we have Miss Arielle. She's a professional CrossFit athlete. She's a former homeschooler herself. She's a homeschool mom now. She goes over like simple ways to figure out what you're eating, if it's good or bad for you, how to kind of start working out. All in all, it's a great interview. What do you got for it, Beth?
I liked how she shared humility and then her Christian principles that she follows within her home. She talked a little bit about the homeschool curriculum that they use and just her special relationship that she has with her daughter. It was really, really nice, very heartwarming.
Well, we hope you enjoy it. We'll see you inside. What's up, everyone? Today we have Ariel, and she was a former homeschooler herself, and now she's homeschooling. She's also a fantastic athlete. If you could just give a quick background on yourself so the audience can know who you are.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm Arielle Loewen. Currently, I'm a five-time consecutive CrossFit Games athlete. I'm a wife and a mother to a 7-year-old now daughter. But I'm known most for my competitive CrossFit career, but I grew up all over the place, homeschooled. My dad was in the military, so we kind of moved around everywhere. Met my husband in Midland, Texas, and now that's currently home for me.
Okay, okay. Now, when you were homeschooled, I would imagine it's a lot different than it is now. You know,
Yeah.
what was like your personal experience like with it?
Yeah, so I was homeschooled all the way up until high school.
To
So
high school?
I had like all the younger grades. So I don't remember too much of it, but I do remember we would have some curriculums on the TV,
Okay.
some would be on the computer. So majority of our stuff was taught by an outside source, and my mom facilitated the extra work. So it's a little
Love
bit different with me and my daughter. Granted, she's only in the first grade, but I'm like I buy the curriculum and then I'm the one teaching her based on what that says. It's a little bit different.
Are you liking that way so far?
I love it. I didn't know what to expect, but the curriculum, I use the good and the beautiful. It's
Mm,
so thorough on like, this is what we're doing. Say this to your child.
yeah,
Creatively, you can do this. It's very guided to where it's not overwhelming at all.
that's awesome. Now, how do you kind of manage the training, staying in shape with the teaching? How does the schedule look like in your day?
Yeah, there's a lot. Homeschoolers out there, you can have every excuse not to homeschool because you're like, oh, we'll do a field day and just go outside, play in the yard. We try and stick to a schedule, which
Yeah.
helps me and I think it helps my daughter. So from 10 a.m. to 12 is school time. So we do all of our handwriting, our math, our reading. And then after 12 p.m., I'll do my little workout. After workout, we'll run errands, we'll do extracurriculars. So we just prioritize the schooling first thing when we wake up.
Love that. Swallow the frog is an analogy. I like get the hardest thing out of the way first.
Exactly. Then it's all downhill.
Then it's all downhill. Okay, so I was real excited when Beth told me we are gonna be doing this interview because for me, health is one of the biggest things someone can have incorporated into their life, and be very conscious about it. When it comes to other homeschooling moms out there, maybe they're not big into fitness. What are some like simple things they can do, you think, to kind of get that momentum and build that habit of taking some time for themselves?
Yeah. Another hard part, stay at home mom, homeschool mom, is you are taking care of everyone, but sometimes it's hard to prioritize yourself because there's so many other things you can do. The easiest thing I always tell moms is just start with going for a walk. So if
Okay.
working out seems overwhelming, I get it. There are so many movements. Step one, let your toddler ride the bike and you just walk a mile. And try and
Mhm.
do that consistently 5 times a week. And you'll see even just you might think walking is boring, lame, but even just a little bit of movement outside in the sunshine, moving your body changes your mind, changes your attitude. And I think the biggest key is when you work out, physically you feel better, but mentally it does something for you too. So we want the physical health and the mental health kind of combined.
And as a homeschooling mom, that you're dealing you never turn off up top. You
Right.
never turn off. So having that little bit of time to get that mental clarity. And I do want to say that that analogy you just going for a walk, that is what my mom, now she already was into fitness, but growing up, we always had to wake up in the morning, go run, do push-ups and pull-ups. But she started off just going on a walk with us riding the bike. And then she was jogging, we could run a little and then eventually we were forced to run next to her. You know what I mean?
Right. You get it.
So that what you said right there, that simple step though, it really will, it does work. You know what I mean? And for the kids on my end, I remember just like it's always just been embedded in who I am. Like, oh, we're active, we move around, we work out, we do stuff. Starting that young too, I think will have a lot of benefits in the kids' life as well. So I just wanted to
I
say
do
that's
too.
great. Um,
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the homeschooling day, you're doing most of the teaching? Is your husband doing any of the teaching, or is it mostly you? My dad
We
did it
call
too.
him, no, you're good. We call him the principal. So
That's
the only time we go to see the principal is if like I can't handle the situation, something went really wrong to where it's
uh-huh.
like, okay, I'm hands off. But no, I do 99.9% of everything.
That's crazy because we called our dad the principal, and
That's so funny.
he said, "I'm not in charge of any of that little stuff." You know what I
We did the
Exactly.
same thing at our house too,
mean? That's
actually.
awesome.
I
Yes.
love that. And
Yeah.
in our reality, I am like an athlete and I work
Oh yeah.
kind of, but my husband is the breadwinner. He's the provider. So in our home, my job is to manage the home. So like I couldn't expect him to work full time, provide for us, and hey, you just got home from work, teach our kid. Like I got to do something to help him out.
I feel you. I feel you. So
Yeah.
what you said starting small for the moms, when it comes to nutrition, I'd imagine that you have to be conscious about what you're eating to stay in the shape that you're in. What are some simple maybe frameworks the moms can use for their life to where they can kind of get their diet and nutrition in line?
Yeah, the number one thing I like to follow is I call it like the 80-20 rule. So I
Okay.
eat good 80% of the time. 20% of the time is not great. So don't think you need this unrealistic expectation of I'm never eating dessert. I'm never doing this. Like Sunday night, we had a cheeseburger and brownies. That's
Mm,
okay. But I like to prioritize my Monday through Friday. I am eating good. So we're
okay.
not eating out. I'm making breakfast. I'm making lunch. I'm making dinner. On the weekends, we'll enjoy ourselves, go out to eat. But I would just recommend eating at home as much as possible with a
Mm,
utensil. So this is the weird thing that I like to tell people. Like if you can eat it with a utensil, it's usually a good meal. So if you think about like fried chicken and french fries, you don't need a
mm.
utensil for that. Anything you can eat that's like whole food, like casseroles aren't bad. Um, Prioritizing like whole food, avocado, stuff you can get on the perimeter of the grocery store.
Yeah, and I've never heard that analogy before, and I love it though. That's great. The way you can eat with the utensil. It
Yeah.
simplifies it. It simplifies it.
And
Uh,
I used to, my daughter just be like, oh, it's just easy to buy these frozen things, throw them in the microwave and feed it to her. But I'm like, man, if I wouldn't want to eat that, I don't want her to have that as well. So
I
just
feel that.
prioritizing myself and it will feed through to her because if I'm eating avocado, she's going to eat avocado. And
Yeah.
then it's just healthier by example.
I love that. What all started the interest in CrossFit? Was that just something that you were doing beforehand, or did you see it and you want to get into it? How did that happen?
I've been into it since high school. So I
Oh,
got out of high school. I'd always been in sports. So I was used to somebody telling me what to do. Hey, we're going to the weight room. Hey, we're doing
yeah.
this. And after high school, I was like, I have no idea what to do. So my friend, who was my boss at the time, was like, hey, come try this CrossFit class. You show up, they tell you what to do. It's easy, no big deal. So I actually went there, fell in love with CrossFit, but CrossFit is really expensive. Like you're talking $150 a month upwards just for a
Mhm.
membership. And I was a high school student going into college at the time. So I actually went up to the owner and was like, hey, I can't afford this. Can we make some type of deal? I'll clean the gym in exchange for a membership. So that's actually how I got into it. I was the cleaner of the gym in exchange for my CrossFit membership.
Man, that's crazy. I love
It's
that.
fun.
And then when it comes to, for me, a lot of times dealing with pressures, a very good thing for kids to learn how to do, especially early on. I would imagine when you're competing in front of a bunch of people, you got to be feeling some sort of pressure. What do you do? And then what do you think some parents can do to allow them to kind of build that skill, but also get used to performing under pressure?
Yeah. I mean, they always say pressure is a privilege. But when you're in the pressure, it's hard to have that perspective. I try and just keep a gratitude mindset.
Okay.
So going into like quarterfinals was this past weekend. If I finish all these workouts in these time goals that I gave for myself, I'll be happy. If I finish the weekend healthy, I'll be happy. So just having like little measurable goals where you can find joy in the midst of all the chaos.
I love that. That kind of reminds me of like David Goggins when he like talks about like just the next little thing. But it's that's true though. It does make a big difference in it.
Right.
what's your plan with homeschooling? You gonna send her to high school like you did? You think you're gonna do it? You take it year by year, or are you making that decision?
We're taking it year by year right now. I do know a big point of contention when I was homeschooled was I missed the friendship connection. So that's why my parents let me go to high school. And I kind of went too crazy and I didn't know how to discern friendship. So it might have been too much for me at the time. But I'm trying to like listen to my daughter. If she really wants to go to school, 100% will look for a good school to send her. But I mean, my mama heart would break if I had to do that. Because I love my kiddo and we have so much fun doing school and then we get to hang out the rest of the day. But I'm trying to just keep in mind it's not my life, it's her life. So if she wants to go to school, I will, of course, look into it. But I always remind her, like, we'll be done at 12 p.m. and then we can like ride bikes. And I'm like, hey, kids are still in school. Hey,
Yeah.
it's 5 o'clock. Do you see that school bus? They're just getting home. Just like letting her see, hey, you have it really good.
Without a doubt. And I think the year by year also is the better mentality for the parents as well. Like, okay, let's just get through this year. But it's like you're
Exactly.
saying, like your goals for the semifinals. Let's just get through this year. You
Yeah.
know, when it comes to like her health and like working out, what all do you guys kind of do to make sure that she's going to be not necessarily a CrossFit athlete like her mom, but interested in taking care of herself?
Yeah, the big thing is we have her in sports.
Love
So
it.
we want her to see like what are you good at? What do you like as an individual? Mom likes CrossFit, dad liked baseball. Just
Hmm.
finding herself in sports and what she's good at, and then also learning from other people. I can teach her school, but I do want her to learn hard lessons from a coach, from
Hmm.
teamwork on the soccer team. Like those are valuable lessons I cannot teach her, neither can the world. And then another big thing is just health. So like I'll keep sweets in the house, we'll bake cookies, just teaching her you can have a cookie, you can have two cookies, but anything over excessive is not good for you. So like I can drink too much water and it's not good for me. I can have too much cookies, it's not good for me. Not limiting like you can't have this, but just realizing, hey, sugar can lead to this, which can lead to this. So let's just be conscious of eating healthy all around.
I love that. And
Yeah.
it also takes the pressure off it as well because you're not I mean, as a kid, at least I was, I imagine most are, if you tell me you can't have something, it kind of makes
Right.
me like want it a little bit more.
Yeah. Even as an adult, I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, oh, I can't have that. And then the next time I get it, instead of having one slice of cake, I'll have 5 slices of cake. Where it's like, there's no balance.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Now, what's kind of like dry? Because with CrossFit, it's a sport that I feel like you have to love,
Hmm.
and you also have to like. There's a lot of time where you're working, and your time to shine for all the work that you put into is very small. So, what are you doing to kind of like keep you, and what keeps you going day to day of maintaining what you got going on right now?
Yeah. The biggest thing, it's like a quote I've had in my mind. I try and work really hard in the darkness so I can shine in the light. But
Mm,
the main work you're doing is in darkness that nobody's seeing. Even
yeah,
like homeschoolers, nobody sees any of the schoolwork you're doing at home. But I also think you need to be grounded in like where do you find value in life? For us, that's in like who God says we are, my family and my faith. So if those things are good and right, this CrossFit thing for me right now is just like a small blessing, but that blessing will go away. But my faith and family are what's number one. So I have to make sure I don't make the CrossFit thing too high to where my family's down here because it's not going to last forever.
I love that. I love that. Now, when it comes to juggling like the day to day, I would imagine being a homeschool mom and then going CrossFit's not something you can easily train for. You know what I mean?
No.
You gotta bring it pretty much every day. And even on like the light days, you still gotta be mentally there, like avoid injury. And also, what all are you doing to be able to still perform, get that work in, but then still dealing with the stress of being a homeschool mom where it's 24/7, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. I enjoy my life. So when you describe
Okay.
it, it does sound like a lot, but I don't have to wake up to an alarm clock. I don't have to be in a car line for 5 hours a day. So there's so much of my day that I love that we get to like maybe we do school at 10, maybe we do it at 10:30, but we're going to get it done. Just the pressure of like I don't have to be anywhere. We get to stay home and do this. And then I do set up boundaries. So if like my friend were to ask me to go to lunch, I'm only available to go to lunch after 2 p.m. I can't go to breakfast with you. Like those are just non-negotiables because that's my homeschool time. Then I have my workout time till 2 p.m. And then after that, I'm available. So just even setting up boundaries for myself to where I get the important stuff done. And then if you want to meet me, I'll meet you halfway. We can meet up in the afternoon.
Well, I think that's super important, especially as a homeschooling family, because you have we all have the equal amount of responsibility, but it seems like you have a lot more responsibility all the time. And that ability to say no, set those boundaries, I think it really does help everything in the long run.
Yeah.
Can you just expand maybe a little bit more to the moms who are maybe uncomfortable setting those boundaries with people and kind of talk
Right.
about maybe a framework they can use to do it themselves?
Yeah, it's hard to say no to people. So it's almost a muscle you have to work on to build to grow, but it's not a no to be mean. It's not a no to be rude. It's a no of, let's say my friend Bethany wants to go to breakfast. It's saying like, "Hey Bethany, I'm choosing my family right now because we're homeschooling, and then I'm choosing my work, which is working out, but I will choose you. It just has to work in my schedule." So it's not saying no to be rude. It's saying like, "Hey, I'm prioritizing my family, and then I can make time for you, but this is all I got."
Do you find people are receptive to that? Do you think that, I mean, from personally, I think that if anyone's not receptive to it, they're not really your friend, so to speak. You know what I mean? But do you find
Exactly.
that you feel pushback with that, or people just understand and they kind of go along with it?
I mean, I'll use y'all. Y'all are a great example. You reached out and you're like, "Hey, can you jump on and talk to homeschoolers?" And I'm like, "I would love to, but I only can after this." And I
Yeah.
feel like if people respect that, they respect like your boundaries, they respect who you are as a person, and it just kind of works.
Oh, that's a pat on our back. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate y'all like respecting my boundary of all that. And if people don't, they just want selfishly
Yeah,
their
Without
status quo.
without a doubt.
that is
Beth,
so good.
Thanks.
I never let Beth talk, so I'm gonna open the floor up.
Best.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that is a really good point. I love to read and it's kind of become a professional thing online. So sometimes I have to say no to people because I'm too busy keeping up with my hobby. So that was really encouraging to hear that from you because sometimes I feel guilty. I'm like, am I being selfish? Am I being rude? But that's really, really good. I really
Thank you.
appreciate that you shared that. That's really encouraging.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No questions, Beth?
I'll come back. I'm
Okay.
sure one will pop up.
All right. So then when it comes to, we have four pillars: finances, health, education, communication. You know what I mean? I think if you can develop skill in those four things, you should be able to go off into your adult life and at least be able to start on a good foot. You know what I mean? Um, but part of health for me is like mental resilience and being able to understand that there's going to be pressure in life. There's going to be things that you want that don't happen. You know what I mean? You have to be able to understand that and still operate. I would imagine with CrossFit, you're constantly, it's just as hard mentally like on you as it is physically, you know. So for your day-to-day life, what are some things that you're seeing to help build that mental resilience, and is there anything you're doing to kind of help your child learn the same thing?
Yeah, it's a mental muscle, as silly as that sounds. You can't be the strongest on the field if your mind just sucks. So
Mhm.
I always go back to the word. So I try and be in the word every day just to ground myself. And then one thing I started doing maybe 2 years ago, I'll do cardio sessions where I'll listen to like upbeat, pump up music because cardio sucks. And then I'll do my strength stuff. But while I'm doing my strength stuff, I turn on praise and worship music. So it's building my physical muscles, but also I'm trying to build my mind of like, this is what's important. This is what I'm focusing on, which, yeah, it's cool to be fit. It's cool to be strong, but this is not everything I am in life. Like my family needs me more of a mother than they need me more of a CrossFit athlete. So just trying to always ground myself to like what is important, my family. And they
Mm.
should be number one, not my awesome career. But there's always setbacks. Like this past year, I trained hard, but it felt like constantly I was in third place going into the last event. And then after the last event, I bumped down to fifth. So just always losing and being disappointed. And that is part of sports. But then
Mm-hmm.
you have to have the perspective of, oh, I just got top 5 at the CrossFit Games. What an awesome placement.
Hmm.
I just walked away from a really hard competition and I can walk and nothing hurts. So always having the perspective of gratitude will shift that really quickly.
No, that's awesome. And it does, I would imagine as well, it will help your performance too. Because I know for me, I played baseball in college, and my biggest issue was I would get like so upset when I didn't perform well that if we're playing like a double header, the next game I'm playing bad because I'm still pissed off that I didn't play good in game one, you know?
Right.
So I feel like having that little bit of a setback, okay, whatever, finding the gratitude in it will allow you to free up and perform better. When it comes to the curriculum, you using anything else other than the good and the beautiful, or is that the only one you guys are rocking with right now?
It's the only one right now.
Okay. Okay. Um, Beth, before we let her go, because I know we got to get her out of here. Do you want to ask any questions?
Yeah, I do. So you talked a little bit about, I guess, for using like a biblical term, like developing idols and how you kind of stray away from those. How do you suggest moms and women in general, you kind of touched on this already, but how do you suggest moms and women can kind of lean on God's word and then also kind of rework that idol mindset when they're, they might have a hobby they love, or maybe it's just becoming like an idol because they're a homeschooling mom, like that becomes their label or identity. How do you suggest they kind of work on that?
Yeah, that's a hard one because I do feel like CrossFit will be an idol, and sometimes it
Yeah,
is too much for me. I
I
have an
totally get
awesome,
that.
yeah,
I totally get that.
I have an awesome husband. So, like in our house, he's the leader, then it's me, then it's Blakely.
Hmm.
And as much as it sucks to hear sometimes he'll be like, "Hey, you are caring way too much about this stupid workout that happened 2 hours ago. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
big deal." Sometimes you need that person in your life to ground you from a place of love, not a place of demeaning or
Yeah.
rude. So just having your partner keep each other aligned helps me. It hurts in
Hmm.
the moment and it sucks, but you don't grow
Yeah.
without truth and love.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. I was
You're
asking
welcome.
that question a little selfishly, I will admit. That's very helpful. Very helpful.
Okay.
Thank
Are
you.
you married?
No, no, I'm not. I just was
Okay.
wondering like how you would handle that because I have my own passions and hobbies and sometimes that can crowd right over and yeah.
Yeah, and I do think parents, it coming from a place of love can also be that because like
Yeah.
I've left my parents' household, so now
Hmm.
with my husband. I do think
Yeah.
parents can do that too.
Oh, they'd be happy to do that. No,
No.
I love them. They're great.
Hmm.
All right.
Love
Well,
it.
any last words for homeschooling moms or just homeschooling families in general before we hop off here?
Yeah, it's hard. So the days that are hard, yeah, they're gonna be hard. But my friend gave me this example, like you're just depositing little nuggets of gold into their life. You're not necessarily going to see right now. You may not see in 5 years, 10 years, but you get to see your children grow up. And what a blessing because most people only see them for 1 to 2 hours a day. So
Yep.
like enjoy the hard, enjoy the all of that because it goes so fast.
Most definitely. Well, thank you so much. I told you we'd have you out here by 3:30 and it's 3:24. So
Oh,
I'm
you're awesome.
all righty. We appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And I was a homeschooler as well. So some people will look down on homeschoolers or belittle them, but I mean, you can do awesome things with your life because you have so much more free time.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
right.
Ma'am.
That's right.
All righty. Have a
Mhm.
good day.
Thank
Thank
you too.
you.